Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina. Vagina.
Hey everybody, welcome to MIKEroaggress'd. Hope you all have your vaginas situated properly.
Well, after that, I assume so. Like, gee, I can't. I forgot that he said that. Oh my god!
How did you miss that? That was the best part. Well, yes, hello to all our beautiful friends in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, my lovely guest, the bodacious, the fill in the blank, Joel of the Daily Caller.
Thank you for having me, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited. The MIKEroaggress'd. It's a wonderful night, a wonderful Wednesday from the city of DC. So I'm excited.
God, yeah, I was just saying to you, I'm like, you're in DC, like you're the only person who has it as bad, maybe worse than me in New York.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, you know, walking outside, you keep it under wraps. You know, you're not in an area where people are generally friendly to our kind, overwhelmingly.
Yeah, same here. I think I'm in Queens, so I feel like I'm a little bit away from the craziest of it, but I had to cancel some plans last week because they shut down all the subways. People were marching in them.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I feel like people these days, and not to say that's not a weird situation, and necessarily like when you see the video the first time, maybe you think differently. I've dealt with as many crazy people on the metro. I'm sure I'm probably not as many crazy people on the subway, but like I feel like these days people just want to go out and fucking break shit. Like that's what they're spending their whole day on. Like that's like, all right, well I'm gonna go out there, find whatever the problem is, whatever's gonna make me mad. I'm gonna grab a Molotov cocktail. You know, that's where we're at.
And I'm a little split on it because I feel like the right is so complacent that I almost like, you know, I don't actually wish they would go and burn shit, but I'm like, at least do something, show up. I'm like, they segregated you. If not now, when? They just
at least have you know, more than an angry tweet. You know,
yes.
More than.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. As you know, I am an aspiring grifter, so send us your super chats. I'm really glad to see everyone tonight. Yeah, I guess some of you know my dog died a couple days ago, so I might be a little bit out of it tonight, but I figured it's, you know, good to go on and be with friends and stuff. So I really appreciate everyone being here. So yeah, I know neither of us want to like dwell on Trump the whole time, but he just had his town, which I actually forgot, by the way, that he was having this tonight. So you mentioned it today. I was like, oh shit, that was tonight.
Yeah, the thing about CNN's so relevant. Trump even said it today. Trump was like, they brought me in for ratings. Like we wrote an article about it, and basically, like it was like, why is CNN bringing Trump in? Well, they have no other way of getting people to watch the program. Like they got rid of Don Lemon, you know, their champion. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do without Don, but like who's gonna watch CNN anymore? Like if they don't, I don't know what they're possibly gonna do. Trump, it was the thing that brought them there. So like, of course they're gonna bring him back. And tonight was just anything but a serious town hall.
Well, they always need something. You know, I think in the post 9/11 era, they need every day to be 9/11. And so without Trump, without the COVID death ticker, then what? They really have nothing. So yeah, I don't know actually, which I kind of like not knowing where everyone stands before a show. But so I don't know how you feel about it, but Trump did how I kind of expected him to do. I'm just so over it at this point.
Yeah, it was the same. They came out with the same stuff. It's like CNN and him are hashing out the same thing from 2020, and it's like, look, we've walked these roads. We know where everybody stands. We know how everybody feels about it. So why are we still talking about it? And for me, where I stand on it is, whoever's the Republican primary winner, whoever's running for that president, I think we're kind of screwed if we don't have a Republican president in 2024. So whoever it is, and I have such a hard time talking to some Republican women about this because they have such a big issue with Trump. It's like, please, 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 just the man. What do you think about the person? Separate that from the policy, and that's hard to say. That's a hard thing to say for anyone like on the lines, but it's very important like that we get this done, because if we don't fix what's happening over the next couple of years, like this whole just the lackadaisical just malaise of Joe Biden just slipping out of everything, letting Saudi and China become the Saudis and China be friends, letting our economy go to hell. Like, we have to fix this. So that's always been my thought on it.
No, I'm the same way. Well, I'm the same way in that I'll vote for whoever the only Republicans I wouldn't vote for is if it were to be some stuff like the Bush Cheney variety, but it's never going to be that. So I'm voting for whoever the Republican nominee is, but I just hope it's not Trump, because we will lose. We are going to lose so badly. And I don't know how people don't see. And I honestly, I don't know if you agree with this, but I think he looks like he doesn't even want to be there. I feel like he's doing it because he thinks he has to. It seems like his heart isn't really in it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting that old, man, but like I don't know, he still has the vigor that like clearly Biden doesn't have. Like, there's clearly some level of movement. I mean, he's having a real argument with I think it was Caitlin Collins on CNN stage. I don't know exactly who it was, but he's having a legitimate argument. Biden doesn't have legitimate arguments. Biden devolves because he's just old as hell. Like, he can't pick up, like, he's not going to be as quick. At least Trump hears out of the corner of his ear what that person's saying. You know, like, that's
God, how have we fallen this far? How is the standard that low?
Yeah, I mean, every great empire, you know, they're always, but at this point, it's like, how are we going? This is where we have to make a decision. Like, what do we care about for the country? Like, where are we going to be? Like, is it going to be, you know, we don't like the bad man, the guy that doesn't make everybody feel like a heart, and not even just Trump, like DeSantis. Similarly, like, how are we going to feel about these guys, like, personally, versus how do we want the country to progress? And if we're at war right now with, like, we're basically at war with China on just a very different level than people really understand. Like, we're fighting a full-on Cold War. So we need to have people in there that give a shit about the country, like people that actually care about the country progressing. And if that's not happening, then that's going to be the problem.
Yeah. I wrote this on Twitter when the thing started, and I think a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I said, for me, in deciding what should happen in this next election stuff, I feel like there's only one really important question for Trump running again that nobody will ask, and I've never heard an answer. I'm like, so if you think that the election was stolen in 2020 and you were not able to put together a strategy or a team to combat that, what is the plan? What will be different this time? And no one can answer that. And I wanted to bring up because, well, let me get it. But, you know, they get into the weeds of all these things when it comes to the 2020 election about like that. And I feel like you don't even need to go there. They told you outright what they were doing. I just want people, wait, if I can get it up. Wait, that sounded really bad. If I can get it up. Oh my God. I'm very bad with the technical shit is what I meant to say. So give me a second here. I'll get it.
Also, I apologize to the good people of MIKEroaggress'd. I've recently moved into my apartment, so I haven't fixed. I don't have studio lighting yet, but you know, at least I didn't shave.
Yeah, I want to bring this up lest people forget. It was fortified legally. They told you exactly what they did. You don't even need to go there with ballot boxes and all of these things. They told you outright. They got states to change voting laws, a well-funded cabal. So I wish that we didn't have to relitigate this over and over again, but I feel like basically my point is that I feel like if you're not going to fight these things when they happen, when the laws are being changed, when things like this are in progress, you can't complain about the outcome. It needed to be fought 6 months before.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. It's like, if you really want to win, get off your butt, dude. Like, we need to be hustling in the same capacities that they're hustling. They're going to inner city communities like Broward County, Florida. They're going in the places that Republicans don't go because they're scared. And they're going and they're doing stuff like on TikTok and all these other areas. Like, we're losing this vote from this younger group of people solely because we have like social media, anything that's new, and I guess cool would be a relative term, but anything that's like the youth culture agrees with, something we have to push back on it. We're conservatives. That's the point, right? But doesn't mean we can't actually try to fight the same war. Like TikTok is killing us. We did an article, it's from some poll, but 2/3 of like people under 25 or maybe under 30 were saying that they get all their like 2/3 of their news. Sorry, people underneath 25 or 30 were saying they get 2/3 of their news from TikTok. So that's like owned by the Chinese. Like that's like, we have to be fighting that information more on the ground in there. And we're like in that situation, it just looks so dismal. Like that's a
look at those morons that they're funding, those like cokehead children, the Shiltwinks that the Democrats are funding. And it's like, why aren't we doing that? Like, it's crazy. We're just letting them have every ground on every issue in every capacity.
Send some TPUSA people in there. Like, I don't like, I'm sure there's like, let's put some kind of money towards something that actually might work. Like, that's the, like, I know that like these people are eventually going to die. Like these people that we're pushing for the vote for, it's like, well, let's get them out this year. It's like, well, these people are turning 50, 60, 70, like you guys they're all fighting for right now. It's the same. That's the thing about American politics right now. Everybody fights for that dollar today. Everybody's like, I want this dollar right now. I want this to work right now because I want to enrich myself down the road. It's like not even just a Republican problem. It's just the way that our politics works is they're trying to cut that deal that makes sure they can make enough money down the road to make sure their family's going to be okay. And I understand that element at a core principle, but it screws the rest of the country.
Why is it that you think Republicans are so, I mean, I don't mean the politicians, I mean that just the average person on the right is so complacent? My only guess is I think a lot of them, at least the ones who live in red states, maybe don't realize just how bad things are. I think people like us who are in cities are like one step ahead of the progress.
Yeah, and I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia, and like even there, it's starting to get bigger. And when more and more people start coming, not even to say that liberals are starting, but just more and more people in general, when you don't fix the problem at its root, when you don't try to build these small businesses, when you don't try to fix the culture and you let everything kind of fall apart, you're like that. We see it right now because it's chaos everywhere. Like now we oversell it in a lot of ways in some capacities as like Republicans, of course, we're going to, but it is like, if you look at the way that things are trending, if you look at the way people are, education for me is the number one thing. Yeah. Kids can't read. Like kids can't read. Like how are we gonna have a successful society?
But they can tell you every pronoun.
Yeah.
They can tell you every pronoun. That's what actually matters. They can tell you what undergarments drag queens are wearing. They can tell you 2 + 2 is racist.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I saw that the other day. The what was it? 2 + 2 = 5. There's the guy that had a whole argument about how there was some crazy professor that had like an argument that 2 + 2 = 5 and how it was like social engineering, and smart dude too. I think he was from Harvard or something, but I might be full of shit, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. The education is completely, because it's become, and all the money, especially universities, like the money comes from China, the money comes from all these places. You don't know why people are doing the stuff they do. Sometimes they just do stuff. It feels like just to do stuff. There's no real path. That's why I like what DeSantis is doing in Florida to that extent, just like that new college, because it's like, we got the meritocracy, I guess, like we're actually they're actually, at least they're trying. Like that's not going to, I'm not going to say that's going to be a perfect solution. I think there's going to be some bad stuff that comes from that, probably something dumb, something ridiculous, but at least they're trying. Nobody else is trying. Nobody else is trying to be like, hey, let's rein in our schools and let's try to actually like make stuff happen, like make people learn. Like that's something.
Yeah. What I really like about DeSantis is I feel like he understands the little things that have brought us here, even just in terms of him getting schools to teach financial literacy or civics. Like young people not knowing those very basic things, I think, is one of the many things leading them to, of course, they become socialists. Of course, they become all these ridiculous things. They don't know anything. And I was one of those people. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't know much, but
we just kind of fumble our way through, every issue as we can. That's the other thing that's crazy about, like, there's so many different niche issues and we paint them all with a big brush because again, going back to even like the education, even older people education, like how are we going to teach, even 30, 40, 50-year-old people about AI? Like how are we going to be like AI, like, oh, learn about this new concept. It's going to change your life forever. And like what's the first thing they're going to say? They don't want to deal with it. Well, guess what? Like we're dealing with it. Like it's not going to be something that just goes away. And like there's all this technological stuff. I think it's just going to be. That's the other thing that kind of freaks me out. It's like either a lot of really good stuff is going to happen, or a lot of really bad stuff is going to happen. In the next
what good stuff do you think is going to happen? Maybe you're more optimistic than I am.
Well, I think of human development is kind of like a pregnancy, right? Where it's bloody, it's dirty, it's rough right now. But maybe something, maybe something pushes out and it's, it's nice. Now, do I think a lot of people might die on the course of that happening? Yeah, that could easily happen. So I don't know. I think we have a chance. We have a very slim, very small, minuscule chance, but maybe we have a chance.
This is interesting. I'm noticing AI at work in a scary way. Bots on Grindr asking what my job is. The bots have made it to Grindr. Of course, if you're going to take over the world, that's the starting place.
That's number one. That's number one priority.
That's when in doubt, expect the drag queenest outcome.
Well,
what's happening?
Yeah, the AI on social media is crazy. I saw there's this one guy that had an AI that would just swipe every girl that he could, like every single girl, like he would just have swabs and have the AI talk to each one, and its success rate was like a crazy amount. Like, how are we gonna know? I mean, now we know it's not there yet, but like we got Snapchat, we got AI on Snapchat now. Like you can go mess with your AI right now on Snapchat.
What do you do with it? Because like I don't really use Snapchat, but I saw that it had like I haven't tried it. What do you do with the Snapchat AI?
I think it's like Chat GPT-esque. I guess you can ask it questions or something like that. I've really like it just all it is taking in information, and then Skynet comes out and we're fighting, Arnold Schwarzenegger all over the streets and everything goes to hell.
I was doing a rewatch recently of Black Mirror, and it's crazy how in just a couple years, how much of it has come true. The social credit scores, they had one with police robot dogs. We've got that in New York now. Like, so if that's what's happened in just a couple years, imagine more from now.
Yeah, have you seen the dogs from like what's it, Boston Dynamics? Not the dogs, the people from the animatronics from Boston Dynamics that can like run and run up a wall and do backflips and like stuff like that. Like imagine that's
a good idea.
Yeah, if you think restraint against people on like the subway now is bad? Imagine a robot when you're like, I'm sorry, I yelled. I was upset because somebody stepped on my foot, and there's just a Boston Dynamics robot just beating your face in. Right in the middle of the subway. Like you thought it was bad Jordan Neely got choked out. Imagine a bunch of robots when you like brushing up against the wrong person, just pinning you to the wall and breaking your arm. Like that's
what's so funny, by the way? I keep seeing these liberal women who claim they're from New York. I don't buy that for a second. They were probably here for 2 days. They just moved here a month ago, saying, well, I ride the subway every day and I never see any such thing. I never see any vagrants or violence. Like, which New York are you in, bitch?
Yeah. Are you just staring? Are they just staring at the ground? Like, I don't like, I guess that's what you do. That's what you do in that scenario. But
I wanted to comment a video. I want to be like, cool. Here's the bum who was jerking off on my doorstep recently. See, and it's never anyone, you would think, oh, God sent me a man, but it's not anybody that you would want to see doing any such thing.
No, I know. It's always the guy that, he's always a little dirtier than you'd like, maybe, it's a little dirtier than you like. When I first came to DC, I went on the subway. I worked at Channel 7 News in Arlington, and I got on the subway, and it was right above. I was in Foggy Bottom, and I was right next to the hospital. And I got on, and this huge fat black guy wearing a shawl, what's it called, whatever the hospital shawl was, like naked in the back, shit all over his body, just standing in the doorway like this. And like that was like my welcome to the metro of DC. Like, well, how you doing? Like, this is public transport. Enjoy it.
What possessed you to go to DC is what I want to know.
So I worked on the Hill for a minute, and I don't know, I've always been kind of a media guy. So I don't know, I've been attracted to politics for a while. It made sense at the time. I honestly, looking back, maybe I should have like looked for a real job, but like,
same.
Look what we're doing on a Wednesday. This is technically work. by some capacity, right?
It could
But
be
that's
worse.
and I was painting a lot in college, and I was getting weird, and I was like, politics might be a lot for me, like
Because
that
you were
might
weird.
So here
What were
we
you
are.
painting?
A lot of this is some of the stuff,
Oh,
but
shit.
yeah, my Instagram has more of it. I'm trying to paint more now. I kind of got separated from it. So when I first came in, I worked for Elise Stefanik for a couple months,
Oh,
and then
wow.
I was Troy Nell's comms director. And during that time period, I was pretty busy. So the painting kind of took a back seat. So I'm trying to do more of it. But also, if anybody wants a painting, you're welcome to DM me because they are big and they are filling up my room. I need
I
to
get
get. I
a
need to.
painting from you once I finally move. By the way, also his Twitter is below, and once this goes up after, I'll add all his channels and stuff. You should follow him.
So I have two. I work for the Daily Caller. We have two YouTube shows. One's Man versus Street, where I interview people on the street. I just joined recently, so I'm in the last couple of videos. And then there's another one called Behind the Blue Line, where we react to police officer body cam videos. Both are pretty wild. The OnlyFans video that we did, which is we asked people like, what do you think about the gender wage gap? And then they said that whatever they said, and then we said, no, we're talking about the OnlyFans gender wage gap. That's one I'm a big fan of. I think you guys should
I
check
didn't
out
know
on
where
that.
you were going with that. The OnlyFans video we did.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I was like, should we start an OnlyFans? Like, if we're gonna be talking about it, might as well be like, look at our OnlyFans. But we didn't. We were too chicken. I'm not there yet. I need a couple. You're saying I'm bodacious. I like to get a little. I'd like to get a little thinner before I hit that one.
I've thought about making an OnlyFans of cooking, but it's just cooking videos and call it OnlyPans.
Oh my God, you would
That's
get
the best I got.
you get so many pansexuals at first. At
Oh my
first,
God.
at first, when they first got there, they'd be pumped.
Then they'd be pissed when they left.
But once you get them in, if it's a good cooking video, they might stay around.
It would be. Wait, I wanted to ask you about you working at the Daily Caller. So that's a big thing that's happened recently. Tucker Carlson is moving to Twitter, which I think is awesome. Have you had any experience with him with the Daily Caller?
So he's always going to be one of our, Hall of Famers, one of our our co-founder. Loving the Dev, always been a big fan of his show. We are always going to be friends with him. I was very interested when that whole thing went down because when I heard he was talking to Elon, of course the natural step is to go to Twitter. But what this does for Twitter and what this does for Elon is game changing because Elon spends, I don't know, he said like a crazy amount of his day was on Twitter because they're trying to make it profitable. They can't figure out a way to make any money off of it. When you make it a streaming platform, he can completely screw off now. Like now that Tucker's going to be there, and not to say they're going to get the same viewership they got at Fox, because that's just not the way that translates. Like that, these people are going to be like, you're going to have grandmas, kicking their kid, asking them to turn on Tucker on Twitter, and like that explanation in itself is going to be crazy. But like
what is Twitter? They'll have to ask.
Yeah, exactly. That's question number one. But then it goes, so now you have at least enough people to make sure there's enough people watching the ad space gets to the point where Elon can be like, all right, I don't have to worry about Twitter going under every single second of the day. And that means he can do, for better or worse, anything else he wants, whether that's work more with SpaceX, whether that's work more with Tesla. That's the kind of thing that I think is really interesting. That allows Twitter a lot of maneuverability. And also apparently he reached out to Don Lemon about a show as well, which is hilarious.
Are you serious? Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. That's one of the
Don Lemon would do it because he's preached against such things for so long.
Well, he seems like the guy that
probably want the money.
Yeah, exactly. He's always seemed like that kind of, Don Lemon is one of those dudes where I've always thought like he's honestly pretty funny. Do I think he's a rocket scientist? No. Do I think he lies a lot? Yeah. But, he comes to Twitter, like at least him and Tucker will be on the same platform, which in itself is hilarious.
He used to. Well, it's funny. I wonder if Don Lemon went on Twitter, how much would change? Because Don Lemon back in the day used to say some fairly true things. Like if you ever saw his rant about like why the black culture was messed up, like it was all true. He would never say any such thing now. Now it's just all, the white man, except his white husband, of course.
Yeah, his story when they did that hit piece on him. I don't know how that came to fruition. I don't know if it was CNN. I would assume CNN was a big part of it. But the stuff that he was saying, do you see the stuff that he was saying about to the women in the office when they were mad at him?
Don Lemon?
Yeah, like they would disagree with him and be like, well, you're fat. He'd be like, well, you're fat.
See, I knew it. I knew he was probably like the most bitchy queen possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like he definitely was like, why would he definitely I mean, like he's also like 56, dude. He was like 56, 57. He's like an old guy.
Black don't crack, I guess.
No, I know. He looks amazing. Like, I don't mean, that's all that adrenochrome, you know? Like, no.
By the way, Thomas says, Joel, you can do OnlyFans for fans of bears.
Well, I did recently find out what a bear was. So, you know, I think I fit that narrative, you know? I think that works for me. I appreciate that. That definitely means I can't shave. I'm actually thinking about shaving into a mustache, maybe like one of these. I had one of these for a while. Might be work, you know. Really? We'll see how it goes. Yeah. But
like a boy band goatee.
Yeah. Well, not even a boy band goatee, like the full on handlebar down, you know, down to the chin.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. That's what we're looking for. A little Freddie action.
I can see
not
that.
Everybody was a fan of that though.
By the way, parentheses, if anybody feels so inclined, send us your super chats or become a channel member, or you could subscribe to all my locals and stuff below. God, there's been so much happening. It's funny, I like took a day or two off from news and stuff, and it seems like so much happened. So George Santos has now been indicted.
Yeah. Oh, so they arrested him. Like, he's not just indicted. They completely arrested him. Like, he is going, and he pleaded not guilty. So on 13 counts, I'm guessing, I can't remember. Pretty sure it's fraud. I would assume it's fraud. Now, don't quote me on that. Go look it up. You know, you got a computer in front of you. You're watching us right now. But yeah, I mean, that always seemed like the natural conclusion. That always seemed like that was on the horizon. The question was when. And they're going to make this whole thing like the Republicans have this fraudster. Well, I mean, you got a swallow out there that hooked up with a Chinese agent and then was on the intel committee for how long? Like, this is like, I understand this is bad, but like at least Santos committed to the lie to the extent where we all knew he was lying. You know, he didn't go out there and he's
I think he should just commit to it and say like he invented Post-its. He should say he was the first president. Like, he should just really commit to it. By the way, thank you for saying this, Thomas, because I thought it was just me. I've been looking. I can't find specifically what he did. I mean, we know he lied a lot, but like, I can't find. So there was one thing that I saw somebody posted that they say he got a payment of like $400. I'm like, that's it? For $400 or $500 or something like that. I'm like, that's it? You have people ripping us off for millions and billions of dollars, not just Ukraine, but.
I mean, like Biden's like what they came out today that they think they have Biden, like they have a CCP agent that was trying to hide wire transfers to Hunter or something like that. Like, this is nothing. I also think that might be there was a story about like George Santos like stealing somebody's dog or pretending a dog was stolen, or that he found a dog and got the reward from it and like didn't give it back to him or something. Dude, his stories are out of this world. Like, he is one of the more like what he lied about, what college he went to. He apparently had
lied about being Jewish.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I meant Jew-ish.
That is one of the funniest lines. Like, if that was not like not a politician and like people think it's like, that would be one of the greatest lines ever. Like, if a comedian said that would be fantastic.
He needs to commit to it. That's the thing, though. I don't want to hear it about, oh, George Santos lied. Like, when you have, like you mentioned, Eric Swalwell, you have Biden, Hunter Biden, Joe, but all these people, I don't want to hear it. He didn't lie us into any wars. He didn't, like, should he run again? No, of course not. But, like, you know, politicians lie, and of politicians' lies, I don't think this was by any means the worst.
Yeah, and McCarthy said he's not going to back him. Like, there's no real, like, he's definitely cut off from the powers that be. Like, he's not like, it's not like they're active like, we're going to support you. Like, nobody's saying we're going to support George Santos. Maybe Gates might, I don't know, but I haven't heard Gates say anything, so I'm assuming that's not going to happen.
This is funny, Jeremy. By that logic, bi people are gayish. Yeah, though, I think we're at a point now, though. I mean, I'm sure they'll convict him. I think we're at a point now where there's such a two-tier justice system that anybody who's not part of the narrative, anyone who's conservative, Republican, that gets caught in the justice system, they're going to throw the book at you. I mean, you can get away with anything if you're a Democrat. You can assault people like Joe Biden. You can rape people like Bill Clinton. You can murder people like Ted Kennedy. Nothing happens.
Speaking of Kennedys, dude, what about RFK coming in still so hot? They put him on TV. I'm shocked that he's going on TV as much as he is. I didn't think that they would put him on TV nearly as much.
It's funny. I was looking at his Twitter the other day, and I was like, he better release a statement right now. Just get it on the record and say, I will never commit suicide.
Yeah, he's been talking about the CIA a lot.
I'm very worried. I think he needs to be on suicide watch.
Yeah, he was he was like, I'm gonna expose. Did he say something today, or maybe it was a different day, about he's gonna expose, like, do what JFK did and try to like expose the CIA? And it's like JFK tried to expose the CIA and received a bullet directly into his forehead. So that's, they won that. I think they won that round. I'm not gonna lie to you, RFK. I think they won that.
CIA won, us 0.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take some L's overseas, like the Bay of Pigs, but they keep winning. They're winning. They're definitely winning here,
Yeah. No, I was thinking that. I'm like, God, I hope I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if he commits suicide with 7 shots to the back of the head.
Like Kurt Cobain conspiracy. So my friend was telling me that. I mean, yes. Yeah, about like what he got a shotgun he shot himself with a shotgun in the back of the head. Like, how is that even possible?
I think she had someone do it. I think that bitch had someone do it.
Yeah, or maybe I don't like. That's such a weird way to be like, oh, he committed suicide. The shotgun it's the old shotgun to the back of the head. We've seen at least 1 or 2 of these in the human history of like the world.
There were a lot of weird things about that. I always thought that it was bullshit.
Yeah, what's your favorite conspiracy going right now?
The true, what conspiracies? They're all like
they're all true.
No, you know which one pisses me off? I have to be like, I have no sense of humor about this one because it's so delusional to me. So like I said, I tweeted earlier that I just want an answer as a voter. I want an answer to the question, what is the plan for Trump to overcome any fortifying, since we already know that he was unable to? And the comments to it, one person goes, oh, well, you don't understand. This is all part of the plan. And he's just been running a sting operation on everyone. Yeah, I don't get it. I do get it. I do get it. It is wishful thinking. They want to believe that there's some sense of control in the chaos. They want to believe that there's going to be some sort of positive outcome, that there will be some sort of justice, and there won't be.
Yeah, it's like asking, like, look at the war in Ukraine, and even outside of like whatever is going on, but like look at just a physical war. Like, they're fighting a war right now and illegal battles and stuff like that. Like, they're just trying to, everybody's just trying to stay afloat. They're going to pull everybody that Biden's ever met and done a deal with to House oversight for, like, Biden's probably shitting a brick in the White House right now. Like, everybody, like, I don't think anybody has a plan. Like, either like to be like Trump's, I've got a plan for exactly how this is going to go. They might have maybe an outline. Maybe like a small, like, some loose leaf paper scattered on the ground. Like, but I don't know if they can call anything like that a plan.
I just don't understand these trust the plan people who think like this was all deliberate.
Yeah.
2020, okay, this was all deliberate. Which, first of all, if that were true, if there were some plan, trust the plan, worst plan ever, first of all. Second of all, if they still think that by now, I don't know.
It's completely, it's just like, and I love the loyalty element of it. Like, we got, your loyal Republicans were following what, it would have been better if he was president. I agree. If Trump was still president, I think the country would be a lot better off. I understand, but it's hard to but it's the same on the, like, you look at the Joe Biden comments, like the cat ladies that are like, oh, Joe, thank you so much. Like, when they call something, like, when they call it like the Inflation Reduction Act, but it's still spending how much money, whatever it is, and they're like, thank you so much for stopping inflation. It's like people are at this point with politics where they're either too lazy to care, too dumb to care, or it's just, there's something else going on. Like we don't talk about mental health at all either. Like we're at the impasse. Like this is when we're gonna have to decide, like, how are we gonna, are we gonna figure this out? Or like, are we gonna move to Argentina? Like, what's going on? Like, are we gonna go live with Andrew Tate in Romania? What's gonna be the
As Elon, Mars is sounding pretty nice right about now.
Yeah, that's such a, like, that's cool. That's such like a give up on the world element. It's like, yeah, we're going to Mars, so I'll see you guys later. Like, this ain't rolling. Like,
I'm down at this point. Well, another thing that happened, by the way. Oh, also speaking of the Chinese spy banger, he's claiming that Trump was convicted of something. He was not, but he was found liable. And first of all, is it just me? I didn't know you could sue someone civilly for a crime. Like they found him guilty of battery or whatever in a civil case. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, that's a weird one too. Like, I don't really understand that element of it. I don't know the case personally super well. That's like, does that mean he grabbed her tits or something? Like, I don't understand. Like, what does that mean? Like, did he like honk her tits and then walk away?
This woman is insane. I remember. I didn't even know. What's that?
She's also out there. Like, you're completely right on that. Like, when you said, like, she's also like, she was like, I think this happened between like this year and these couple. It's been like within like a 3-year period, and like there's a lot. And it's also a Manhattan jury, which is like clearly, as we've seen from the last Manhattan Trump trial, that like they're not necessarily big fans of Trump in the middle of New York. Like, so it's that's one of the weirder cases for sure.
She's not. I didn't even know the case was still going on because I remember seeing her years ago, and the woman is insane.
They waited so long, like so. Well, not so long. They're waiting. This is like the opportune time for everything to happen. It's like this is when you put it. This is when you pull it out. This is when you schedule it. Now down the road, like Trump's a rich dude. Trump's got good lawyers. Like this stuff isn't going to be hashed out unless the judge does something a little bit more aggressive on, like, not necessarily, by the way, not the other case. Like that case is done. Like her case, E. Jean Carroll, I think is her name. I think that civil suit is completely done now. I don't think that there's really anything else to come of it. They'll bring it up and they'll put her on TV. So she might have a couple Biden moments on TV because clearly she's losing it a little as well. But
let me, I want to show you guys what's interesting. If you go and look on YouTube, on CNN's YouTube channel of her interview with Anderson Cooper, they edited it a lot out of it. So I want to show you guys real quick. This was the part that they edited out of her interview on there.
Of course they did.
Last long. And that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
You don't use the word rape.
Sexual violence is in every country, in every strata of society. And I just feel that so many women are undergoing sexual violence. Mine was short. I got out. I'm happy now. I'm moving on. And I think of all the women who are enduring constant sexual violence. So this one instant, this one, 3 minutes in this little dressing room, I just say it's a fight. That way I'm not the victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just,
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Mm. Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm. We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Yeah, you're going to take a break. I bet you're going to take a break. What's interesting, though, is that they come back from the break, and that's when they start what they put out there. And she says the completely opposite thing. He goes, "Oh, so this was rape," and she's like, "Yes, that's the absolute definition of the word." And then they show it. They had another interview with her on CNN where she's wearing the same outfit, same day, where she says the complete opposite of everything she just said. She goes, it was violent and he threw me and he did. She just said the complete opposite of that. So that's what I think is scary about the legal system at the moment. If you're not a leftist, is that you can have these things on tape. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's interesting about that, it started out in such a way where it's almost like and I wouldn't be shocked if she did have some kind of like, not even this with Trump, but some kind of traumatic scenario that happened to her where she kind of like she had like some kind of issue that from it. But the way she kind of just phrased that whole thing, it was almost like she was saying that like constantly just interacting, men and women interacting for it's sexual violence constantly. Like it's almost like she was getting almost philosophical about society to an extent that was like farther than necessarily that one instant. And Anderson Cooper's like, what the hell are you talking about right now? Like that was the thing.
It's funny you mentioned that because her book that she was there promoting is called something like We Don't Need Men.
That's an interesting concept in itself too, because we're getting to the point now. This is getting a little future, just like the conspiracy thing. But I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I was thinking about writing an opinion about this, but we're at a point now where like we don't need each other. We're going to get to a point where we don't need women. Men don't need women, and women don't need men to like procreate to an extent, and like because we're becoming so independent of each other. Like, and that pushes like, and that's something that I think that we need, like, there's a certain level of like, everyone needs some kind of companionship. Now, whether that's necessarily going to be like man to man, woman to woman, that's different. But like, we're getting to a point now where we're cutting ourselves all off from each other. And like, what's going to happen? Like women are going to need, are we going to do a battle of the sexes? You ever remember Fairly Odd Parents, where they cut off the world between the men and the women and they're fighting each other in the war? Like, is that what this is going to happen? Yeah. Like, they're getting like if we like all this stuff, whether it comes to like abortion, not having to have kids, like people are operating like, and you're gonna be able to test tube it, and it's gonna be easier and easier and easier. Not to say it's even wrong, say it's even wrong for that to happen. To be quite honest, like I'm not gonna argue. I mean, I think abortion is one of the more complicated issues. I'm not gonna say that I'm like pro-abortion or anything like that, not even close. But it's gonna be something that like we're gonna have to face. Like, is Greta over there and me? Are we gonna have it out? Like, who's gonna be in charge? You know, men or women? You know?
It sounds terrifying. I feel like we should have maybe been listening to all these like sci-fi movies of the last 50 years.
Yeah, they're trying to incept us with stuff. You know.
Front Porch Conservative, did this make it into the courtroom during the trial? I don't know if that, I know a lot of things didn't. I don't know if that did specifically, but the thing is, I don't think it would matter. We're at a point now where you can have things on videotape and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweeted about this particular trial. It was like splitting the baby. They said like splitting the baby, you know, like the old Solomon story, right? Where they threatened to split the baby. Like they didn't do the rape, but they did the sexual assault. Which in itself, it's like, why would you go one way or another? But I guess in some capacities, it was like maybe to appease, maybe the jurors are in there and they're like, we don't have enough for we don't have even close enough for the rape, right? This woman clearly is a little bit deranged. She has her own stuff going on. Not to attack this probably crazy woman, and then you have people that are adamantly like, oh my God, Trump, Trump. We can't let this go. We can't let this stand. We can't let this stand. So maybe there's a deal cut within the jurors saying like, you know what, let's get the hell out of here. Let's just split the baby here. Like, well, no rape, but we'll do the sexual battery, you know, and like we'll get her some. She's gonna get some money. I think
$5 million for this nut job.
They get a lot of money. Yeah.
Well, and I see all these people saying like, oh, this is Trump, that now no one will vote for, and this is terrible. Like, I mean, people on the right side saying this, and I'm like, look, I'm as outspoken as anybody that I think Trump running again is a total disaster. But the truth needs to be the truth, and we need to be able to say this woman is nuts. Her story makes no sense, and I don't really care about like, how it benefits Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like the justice system has become such a weapon. As soon as you say the word politics, everybody's out the window, and that's just like every day. In DC, New York, I think is also like we're in the most hyper aggressive areas for it. Like you go outside of DC, like an hour down the road, those sons of bitches don't give a shit about politics. They're talking about like what they're gonna do that evening, like that. Like it's not the same. But here in New York, it's like people are so conscious of it because it's such a big part of the and especially if you're tuned into media, if you work in media in any capacity, like you're gonna constantly hear about it. And something that I don't know. It's something I'm trying to have that little level of like, does everything need to be about politics? But the reality is, like, if you look at it deep enough, like 90% of things are all political in some capacity.
Well, I feel like we're kind of living in this time where politics has invaded every aspect of our lives. It's in the bathroom with you. It's in the locker room with you. It's in sports. It's in entertainment. There is nowhere to escape politics.
Oh, you'll love this story. Okay, so we have another show by her name is Chrissy. I think it's called Chrissy the Reaction is her show, but she reacted to this thing the other day. Apparently, this guy was in the girls' locker room. This part isn't funny. It gets to the funnier part. This is messed up. Out of the women's locker room. This dude was in there, and apparently the girl said he flashed his dick at them when he was like a trans woman or whatever. But then they came to the conclusion, like the courts came to the conclusion it was impossible for that to have happened because the person was too fat for you to see their dick. So like they literally was too physically fat for that to be like a thing. They're like, well, ladies, I know you don't want him in there, and I know he might have taken his clothes off, but there's no way you saw it because he's too fat.
I have so many questions. How did they have like some kind of demonstration of it in court? Like, how did he know?
Yeah, that would be wild. If they were like, come here, we need you to stand, over here, like strip him. And it's
what if he had like a big swinging dick and he was still fat, but it's still like,
and it's just peeking out the bottom, maybe it was angle. Maybe it was angles, if you're laying on the ground, you can definitely see it. Like, I don't know. Like that's a thing that I have, like, that was one of the craziest. It's like, and I can't believe that's where we're at. It's like, well, he did strip naked in front of them, but he was fat enough where we didn't see any genitalia. So is that part of your body now? Or is fat just like a dress you wear? Like that's my underwear is my jelly roll over my crotch. Like that's what we are now.
It's insane. It's like
that's called the Lizzo underwear.
Yeah, I guess that's just like, Lizzo said she thinks she has the perfect body type. So I guess that's what it is now.
Oh my God, dude. I feel so bad for her because she tried to get skinny and she was on the way too. And she completely, like, she tried to get skinny. She's like, I'm lost, and they came after her for being like, you were like our hero and da da da. And we were also actually talking about this today. Lizzo in particular, like, she is, when she watch her on stage, like I was watching a video. I mean, I've never been to a Lizzo concert, but when you watch her, I don't know, she's like sitting in a chair half of it, but the videos I've seen, like, she's like moving around, and like that takes a lot of, like, you're practicing every day to do that stuff. Like, the amount of calories she has to be eating to work out that much and to be that dynamic and like be that strong and like still be that fat, it has to be astounding. Like, she has to be going sorry.
They did the same thing to Adele, that they were like, she was one of ours. You took her from us. She's thin now. First of all, Adele didn't just lose weight. Like, she had good face work done, but she's had more face work done than Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
She just went to a better doctor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Michael Jackson might have wanted to look that way. You never know. Michael Jackson was
that's one of the conspiracies I've come around on. I fell down like a rabbit hole researching. I never thought I'd be saying this. I was like, I think he's innocent.
Yeah, I'm back, and that's one of those things. Especially all this stuff, like Epstein stuff, is interesting too, because Epstein was so involved with everyone. So like, it's hard to be like, that was a guy that was fucking kids. Maybe he went to like, and that's also, it's like, was he at the weird sex party with Epstein, or was he at the really weird sex party with Epstein? Like, was he at like the good one, or was he at like the not so good one? Like,
were there good ones?
Yeah, was he at the Thursday night? The Thursday night was always good, There's never a kid at the Thursday night. No, they had a dragon lady dressed up and tied to a ceiling, but like, I never saw a kid anyway. That was Saturday. I never went on Saturday.
Hey, Maddie, aren't you glad you walked in at this moment? That's the thing. You know, it's funny with a lot of those conspiracies and stuff, like the Podesta emails and shit like that. I'm always very skeptical. I'm always like, oh, it can't possibly be all that. But then you read it and you're like, then what the hell is it? Because a lot of this shit is legitimately weird.
Yeah, it is. The Podestas are such a weird. The Podestas, I have so many issues. The Podestas on like not even just the weird like Epstein related kind of stuff, just on the like they are so incredibly corrupt, dude. Like that's the thing for me. Like that when they hired he hired what John Podesta to be his Biden hired him to be like his like an environmental guy. His brother is a lobbyist for China for Huawei, and as soon as he gets hired, a week later, Huawei sanctions get dropped. It's like, all right, well, it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is like one of the most blatant things I've ever seen in my life.
But George Santos lied about being Jewish. That's what really matters.
I also just saw a crazy picture of him in drag, like what looks like him in drag. Like, I can't. Okay, I don't want to say this is real because I don't know.
I don't know if it is. I've seen it too.
That looks like him. Like to an extent where I'm like. And isn't drag lying to yourself? Not actually. That's not. Isn't like being like trans to an extent like lying to yourself? You know, I'm like actually I don't want to attack trans people in that way, but yeah, and I mean like you're hiding kind of, you're changing kind of who you are to an extent. Like that's an interesting fish. Dude.
I just know George Santos should stay whatever he is. Don't go trans. Don't go drag. Just no.
Just be.
He follows me on Twitter, so I feel bad. I'm always like, there are all these people who follow me now, and I'm like, shit, don't look into all the horrible things I've said about you.
Yeah, that's what happens. You're at 25K. Wait till you get 100K. They start really digging into you. That'll be that'll be the day, and then you're gonna have some awkward conversations at the dinner party. If you know what I'm saying.
Also, oh man, and Laura Loomer left like a really nice note about my dog dying. So I'm like, shit. Now I feel bad talking so much shit about this woman.
Yeah. She's an interesting fish too, dude. I will say, watching some of the Trump, like not the Trump like direct, but the Trump adjacent, like adjacent people that are like hardcore fight each other out about stuff, like the OG, like the Twitter guys that are like, I was him way before. You liked a DeSantis tweet, and they're like fighting a massive war on Twitter that nobody knows about except them. Is like the crazy, like
It is so jumped the shark. Like I said, I will vote for whoever the Republican nominee is. If it's him, Trump all the way. However, it has so jumped the shark for me.
Yeah, it's not even. It's I don't know. It's hard to really like. Even nobody in politics on either side has anybody that's like a pragmatic. Like I guess DeSantis is the closest we got to kind of like being like a reasonable human. But like even like not to say that DeSantis is weird, but everybody, even if you're ever gonna run for president, like are you a normal guy? Probably not. You know, probably not. Like there's something going on. Like there's not.
Well,
a lot
you have to be sick in the head to think I should be in charge of the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's that certain level of like, you know, I should be manipulating millions of people, especially the United States when we literally run basically everything. Or I guess the Chinese run us now, so like it's like, you know, we kind of.
You know what was funny, by the way? I don't know if anyone else caught this during the Trump town hall. They were running some DeSantis commercials during it.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that at all. That makes perfect sense because I feel like that would be. I wouldn't be shocked if like CNN and them got together and they're like, we want this to happen. Like this is where we're gonna like because this is they immediately the first question. You knew what Trump was gonna say. You knew they were gonna address it. And then you knew they're going to fight about it. Like, and not to say that, like, but do I think that actually really matters to the base in any capacity? Not really. But it might turn off that one voter, those voters that are like, well, I haven't heard from Trump in a while. I'm interested to see what, you know, if he's changed or what he's like today. And like, that's the kind of thing maybe they were going for. I don't truly know. That town hall is so weird. It's such a weird.
And I think a lot of people, I really think a lot of people who supported him in the past are sick of him. Like that, I myself didn't know until you told me, Joe. I mean, I had heard of it in the past, but I forgot. I think a lot of people are just over it at this point. We just want some confidence.
Maddie, yes. Trump did a town hall. Yes. You gotta get on. What is this? What you? That's what the other thing. So Santos has been calling this a witch hunt. I go, which?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm like, which, yeah, it is, but you're also the one standing over a cauldron with a pointy hat and a broomstick.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely riding the broom. Like, yeah, like there's, we can't, like, where's the broom? I don't know where the broom is you're talking about. Like, he's floating like 2 feet off the ground. No, like that's the kind of shit. Oh,
I just think if you're conservative, don't do shit that they can. Don't give them the gun to shoot you with.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in like what he's in New York too, right? Like that's, it's you're not that solid.
Down.
You're not gonna be that solid in New York. Like it's not. You're never gonna be like anywhere. Like, and that's the same thing in the. I mean, the Republican states don't do that though, and I don't know if they. I'm not gonna say they should. I think they should come after people that do stuff that are like super illegal. I think there's stuff that like there's stuff is, but it's like that's just a precedent that they keep setting, and we're not fighting back. And I hear people tell me that we need to do. Like I was just talking. I'm being a hypocrite right now because I was saying for the election stuff, we need to be going in these same neighborhoods and we need to be doing the same stuff and ballot harvesting. But it makes me sad to think that we're gonna have we need to send our courts after their courts, and all of a sudden we know. We're going after their justices. They're going after our justices. You got Clarence Thomas in the line of fire constantly, which is just one of the more ridiculous things. Like,
yeah, look at the shit they came up with on him. One of the most squeaky clean people probably to ever exist. Oh, they said he put a pubic hair on a soda can.
Yeah.
This is why, by the way, everybody, this is why I will never, ever, ever run for office.
Yeah,
too many pubic hairs on soda cans.
Well, that's such a weird thing too. Like he's Clarence Thomas. Also, the left is mad about Clarence Thomas. You guys literally when he first came in to get confirmed, Biden told him that he wasn't black. Like that's like the first thing that ever happened. Like you think this guy? Of course, this guy freaking hates y'all. Of course, this dude is going to do everything he can to screw with y'all. Like, I mean, dude, like you spent his entire life attacking his character, saying that he wasn't an African-American man, which the motherfucker clearly is. Like, that's like, and in the time where like, that was like a really, really like, that's crazy. Like now it's like, okay, they got a black judge. Like we've been doing like the whole, like people, like the whole what's diversity thing for a while now. Back then it was like, holy shit, we got a black guy up there. Like, and it's like, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe that that's like kind of like where we've come. And I like, if I'm Clarence Thomas, I'll be giving them the middle finger every day too. Like, goddamn, what else are you supposed to do? You're not going to win them back over. You're not going to be like, hey, like I'm like, hey, like, I feel a little bit easier on this. They're still going to scream outside your house and tell you to go kill yourself. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I agree when it comes to legal stuff. It's unfortunate, but especially with other things, I think we need to be doing the same things they do in many respects. I don't know about courts. I mean, I guess we should be. It's just unfortunate, but I just in general, I don't really believe in being the bigger person.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
That's probably smart. I mean, I don't know. Might not be good for your Zen, dude, but like that might be the right.
Oh, I got no fucking Zen.
You got. There's no calm left. There's no calm left.
No, what Zen do you think I have? Maybe like horse tranquilizers is what it would take.
Yeah, ketamine will definitely get you there, right? But that's yeah. I don't like. That's the one thing. Like that's the thing that I hated the most about Paul. Like not to say that anybody I worked with ever did that kind of stuff, but I was looking at it just from the outside in, and I was like, the only way this is gonna work if it gets a lot dirtier. And I think it's gonna have. I mean, I'm glad that I no longer am the one that's gonna have to do that. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm glad that I'm now moving into the media level of the situation as we are today.
So you're really going into the cesspool then?
Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother area of. I just like to jump from pool to pool. It smells a little bit better over there. Might be a little bit dirtier.
Does it? God, what the only thing that's maybe the slightest step up from Congress.
Yeah, I would say. But I will say there's good people and bad people everywhere.
Exactly how many pubes did you put on soda cans? Like, don't worry about it. And 7. Teen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I hope that maybe there's some positive direction that things are going, but
Well, we'll see.
I don't know from where.
I don't. Like the younger kids that are conservative. I think are almost incel-esque, like they say stuff like Chad and stuff like that. And I'm like, are these kids real? Are these kids actually have any idea? Like, are they just gonna be soldiers? I mean, we'll take any votes we can get, but like, are they gonna be the people that are like winning other people over? I don't know. I don't know.
I think a lot of people on the right would rather be stubborn and think that they're right than win.
Yeah, that is literally it. Yes, there's no level of like we're conservative, but that's a give and take, and that's the beautiful thing about America. You know, the left's always going to push, we're going to pull back. Now, do I wish we pulled a little less sometimes so we could get a little bit, a bigger grab? Maybe, but like that's what it is. That's what it is. Though, if we start getting to the point where the federal government gets way too powerful, then all of a sudden one of the polls or one of the pushes is going to be that's going to be all we're doing from then on. Like
I think it's here. I think it's here already. I mean, look at the last few years, everything that's happened.
Yeah. That's every single president just consolidates power. Like it's every single one. The Alpha Chat Army.
I think you have found our squad name.
Alpha Chat Army. Better than the MAGA experience,
Oh yeah, the domestic terrorists over here.
Domestic, yeah, that's what they would have called us. Actually, that was the other thing. If somebody had like a congressman had died on January 6th, or something crazy like that had happened, you thought like the FBI and the intelligence area was going hard on like straight white like not even straight white like white males, young white males in America now, like looking into people, dude. It would have been 9/11. Like they would have been hardcore if they'd actually like something actually like, well, I guess, Ashley Babbitt did pass away, rest in peace, or whatever you feel about that situation. But like if like a serious, like something like a congressman had died or something along those lines, like this country, like that's how close it could have been to being something like crazy, like everything changed. Like
I just think that they've basically laid the groundwork for all the crazy things, and it's just getting started. This sounds so depressing. Is there anything out there uplifting?
I love the Tucker. Oh yeah.
Yes, Tucker. Yes.
Tucker's been emancipated.
I've only ever heard, by the way, I know so many people who've worked with him. I've never heard a bad word about him. Like I've only heard. And by the way, also these videos that they keep putting out to smear him just make me love him more. Like he just looks amazing. They're like, ooh, Tucker did this and Tucker said this. I'm like, he just seems so cool.
Yeah, he's normal. He's completely normalized. Like he just like seems like a regular person, and everybody. And also, I saw this guy. They're like showing it on. I don't remember what it was, but the guy was like clearly, he's like, I'm not really a Tucker fan, but if you took videos of me off the camera and played them without context, then I probably wouldn't look like everybody's favorite guy either. Like that's like I think even in media, people are like, all right, that's kind of ridiculous. Also, they're leaking it to what Media Matters. Like what sources? People? Are you kidding me? like, are you like this is like that's where they're sending their oppo? Like, I mean, I guess that's where you send your oppo, but like,
two things that I need to address. By the way, send us your super chats, fam, if you feel so inclined. A couple of things to address. First of all, the right is creating more. Excited for Woke Screen. Me too. I might be working on some things with Mr. Woke Screen. I don't know. You'll have to just stay tuned. This is very important, though. Beetlejuice 2 is supposedly in production.
Beetlejuice
2? You give no fucks.
Oh, no. I saw that. So that's that girl from what's that show? The Addams Family. She's right. Yeah, I think so. Or maybe I'm being crazy.
No, you're right. She's gonna be Lydia's daughter. I'm just like, please don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up. Please don't suck. Please don't suck. No CGI. I don't want to see any CGI in it.
I'm gonna see a guy on wires running, chasing, like being flown through the air, like possible injury. Like let's get some of that going. There's gonna be They're gonna do all that stuff.
I know. I really wish I went to go see the Beetlejuice musical, by the way. I very much regret not seeing that.
The Beetlejuice.
It sounded really good. I heard they're also making Freaky Friday 2, which is going to suck, but please don't suck again. It's going to.
I mean, every movie, like, well, now that the writers are on strike, I don't really know, like, what's going. Maybe the movies will get better, like.
Yeah.
You see that? The writers are all on strike, and they're talking about the actors going on strike too. And like all the talk shows are like, oh my god, the talk shows are going to be really bad. Well, yeah, I mean, were they really like?
The last time I really want to, I was talking about how the last time there was a writer's strike, TV was so wonderfully awful. I don't know if I was talking about this on Twitter a while ago. I don't know if anybody has ever seen Big Brother 9. I need to make a whole video about the travesty that was the writer's strike season, Big Brother 9.
Oh, the reality TV show.
Yeah, they were having like orgies. Half the cast went to federal prison because they started a narcotics ring with their prize money.
Oh my god.
It was such a great train wreck. I need to make a video about it.
That's
I
crazy.
agree. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying, it's crazy how many careers are started like off of. Dude, that's where the Tate brothers came from. Was from freaking reality TV. Like that's how they got famous. Like that's how they started. Like this is like it's so many people and all those dudes from like the what's it called, the Champions. Those dudes are so rich now. Like they all have a bunch of. I don't know what it's called. I'm not as big on reality. My friend was so into it, but they like all these guys are either super rich or they're in prison. And like because they did a bunch of drugs, like it's like there's like two ways these reality TV guys go. It's like they made all the money, they're snooky, or we see a picture of them at, like looking like what that guy from Mighty Ducks, wherever his name was that like they found on the street, who apparently is doing much better now.
Oh, that's good. Good for him.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cody. I have no faith for any reboot, and some people aren't going to want to hear this, but sorry, that includes the Trump campaign reboot. I have no faith in any of these things, but I want to be wrong. I want Beetlejuice 2 to not suck. I want Trump 2024 to not suck. Prove me wrong out there.
Yeah, we got, I'm just gonna drink a beer and watch, I guess. Like ultimately, that's what's it's gonna end up being. It's gonna be drinking a beer and sitting back and being like, all right, this is where we're at, and we'll figure it out from there.
I agree with you, Thomas. I want to believe. Well, we should promote our things, which brings us to everybody's favorite segment.
It's time for my grifting. Give me all your money. Don't just be a drifter. Help me be a grifter.
Fuck you, pay me.
So you can subscribe to my locals or Patreon or become a channel member. I have multiple members, like the Two Dick guy. We need to someday, can't do it on YouTube, but someday we need to do a full deep dive investigation into Mr. Two Cocks.
I don't even know what the
Have
hell
you ever
that
seen
is.
the Two Dick Man?
No, what is that?
There's a guy with two, they're like next to each other.
I think honestly, I maybe I do. Maybe I do. I'll have to, maybe I memory hold that, so I want to remember it.
But yes, I have multiple channel members, like he has multiple members. See, you guys chat, you said that once, and now it's forever in my head. But yes, subscribe to my things. We do movie night, game night. We just did our first game night. It was very fun. Yes, where can people help you be a better grifter as well, Joel?
Yeah, please. I need the grift, dude. I clearly need the grift. I need a mini fridge in here. So, what can we do? You can follow me on Joel W Gibbons V. I'm JW Gibbons on Twitter, just because I thought it sounded cooler at the time. I mean, now Elon will let me change it, so follow me as you will. And then Joel the Fifth on Instagram. And then besides that, please check out Man vs. Street is our show where we go around and talk to people on the street. Our newest video is about body counts. So it's not out yet, but it's about to be. And we ask people what's the proper body count for your significant other? And let's just say it ranges, a lot of virgins out there, I mean, there are some virgins, but a lot of pro virgins out there you wouldn't expect. And there's another show I do called Behind the Blue Line with Leon Spears, former current police trainer. And we break down body cam videos. And our most recent video that just came out is of a female police officer dealing with a large homeless man who's very angry. And let's say it doesn't end well. So
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Damn, that street one is crazy because I feel like straight people versus the gays would give very different answers.
Yeah, in this video we didn't get. I really wish we had. We talked to a couple lesbian couples that just had no desire to speak to us. I don't know what it is.
Well, their body count would be 0. We'd be at negative integers.
They had no desire. They had no desire to lay it on me. So I don't know. Like that was the issue. But next time we'll have to peruse a little bit better. The next time we'll do a video, I'll make sure we'll get a couple gays in there. I'll have to go to the DuPont area.
Is that where they are?
Yeah, DuPont, Logan Circle area. I would say, yeah, that would be the mecca.
There would be a spike in body count, shall we say?
I don't know because there's some people that were saying like college is a black period, so like you don't remember, like college is fine, and I'm like, do you know how many bodies can be racked up?
Did you get like some whores on there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Some people that they wouldn't say necessarily what they were, but clearly it's out there.
By the way, my beloved Thin White Axe, I need to address this. Mike, did you do the vocals for that? Hell no, I'm not a great singer, but I'm a better singer than that. That was just the computer. Cody, we're not having a transes of the week. Can I be Cody? You are trans of the century for us. You are my favorite. Yes, I bestow you. You are the trans of the week.
Good job, Cody.
Vampires are pro virgins. I guess that's true.
I mean, yeah, that's something in the lore. I'm guessing. That's some lore right there.
Whoa! Wait a second. We have breaking news. Apparently, Double Dick Dude was interviewed on a podcast. I'm gonna need to watch that.
Was it the Whatever podcast? I feel like that's like kind of the vibe that he would do. That'd be hilarious.
What a train wreck dude, it is like my dream in life for them to do a gay episode and me to go on there and just burst some bubbles.
Yeah, they are dude, people love that. Like I can't believe how long it is. It's like 5 hours. Imagine sitting there talking about, like relationships for 5 hours.
I can't imagine talking about anything for 5 hours. I don't understand how there are all these people who stream like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. I don't get it. Yeah, I would get very sick of my own voice. Maddie, how is it I take one call from a client? We were talking about double dicks. What do you expect from my show?
It is a Wednesday, Maddie.
You are always our trans of the week. That is very true. What was it he said before? So yes, if you have made it this far in the show, afterwards, tweet us, #AlphaChatArmy.
That's actually hilarious. Yeah, you should definitely do
that. Oh, yes. I had an important question for you. Since you are the 5th on Twitter, are you actually the 5th?
I am, yeah. There's been 4 before.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that, I don't know if there's going to be a 6th or not. That depends on there's a lucky lady out there or not. But we'll see. I don't. The 5th is
also on the Whatever podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got to get to the Whatever podcast. That's right.
I'll find you one of them whores from there.
It'd be great, Hey, Mom, I found this girl on the Whatever podcast. We talked about, hooking up for 5 hours. Here we are.
Oh, well, Joel, thank you so much for being here. This was awesome. Everybody go follow him on his stuff. I'm going to update the thing below, so check below. Subscribe to his stuff. Subscribe to my stuff. And I will see you. I'm going to have some live in-person shows next week with a mystery guest co-host. So yes, I will see you guys next week. Adios.
See ya.